Hello, hi, thank you very much for having me. So my name's Josh. I work in the early talent recruitment team at GSK. So GSK is one of the largest healthcare companies in the world. So I look after our recruitment for our industrial placement programs, our graduate programs, our apprenticeships, anything for kind of students, people at the very beginning of their career, and work quite closely with the Elevate program last year. So yeah, nice to be back.
Hi everyone, I'm Vasudha Veeraraghavan. I am from the Coca-Cola company and I am the HR business partner for the marketing function of the Europe operating unit of the Coca-Cola company. I'm really excited to be part of this forum today, and we've worked closely with Kingston University and the Elevate program this year, and we're looking to take that partnership forward in the future as well.
My name's David Barnes, so I work for BDO, the accountancy firm. We are the 5th largest accountancy firm in the UK, and we're international as well. So whilst I lead the early careers resourcing team for BDO, it's only in the UK, but we obviously connect with our partners across the world very heavily. We have quite a large team here at BDO, so there's 20 to 25 people all sort of managing that whole recruitment process. It's a really big setup. We probably going to hire 700 to 800 trainees this year. So that's most of those are graduates, but some school leavers as well.
We did some data analysis and research, and we realized that the market, that's the talent pool we have available in the market is actually not reflective of the society that we operate in. When we did that, we realized the correction required was more at the grassroots level, and what we needed to do was to inject the talent pool with more Black talent right at the entry level itself, which is why this year what we've done is we've looked at a completely different internship program. We've centralized a lot of the projects at the Europe level in Great Britain, and we've picked up a large number of Black students applying through the Elevate program for our internship projects. So this way, we're trying to bridge the gap by bringing in Black students at the entry level itself, and hopefully we're seeing that incremental change, which will have a ripple effect over a period of time as well. So that's what we anticipate, and it's the attempt will be to continue this so that of course bringing in a lot more diversity, bringing in a lot more inclusivity into our overall people practices is something that we're constantly working on internally as well. So that's something which I think both these approaches combined will yield us with the results that we want to see.
Program. I mentioned a couple of the programs that we're doing next summer, including the diversity in our legal function summer program, which last year was shared with the Elevate students via the University Careers Service directly, and will be again. In addition to that, we've got our first year student GSK Insight Day, which again will be shared directly with the Elevate students, and we'd love to see as many come along to that in the springtime as we can. We also work quite closely with the Kingston Careers team, so some of our graduate programs, for example, are not open for a huge amount of time, sometimes only a couple of days. We get a lot of applications, and these are shared kind of directly with the careers team almost kind of as soon as we open, to pass along to the students and the students on the Elevate program to ensure that they're not missing any deadlines. I think we also have quite a good relationship in terms of us talking to the careers team for any roles that are struggling a little bit and being able to pass those along. So if we aren't receiving loads and loads of applications in an area, being able to promote those to the students at Kingston, particularly the students on the Elevate program, to really to let them know what really they should be applying for.
We came at it from a very sort of data focused perspective, because ever since the Black Lives Matter movement, there's been a huge amount of discussion, and everyone, has slightly different views, and that's great, and it's amazing that we're having that discussion. But in terms of what I felt we could do to help rebalance, I guess, the inequalities that society creates, I wanted to have something where I could really actually measure it and see for myself that we are making a difference through various different means, and to break down the practices through data to understand where we might be not performing as we'd like to. So essentially, we went through a lot of data looking at our pipeline, essentially. So as people go through the assessment process, from the application form, the online tests, the video interview, and the assessment center, we looked in great detail at that and really broke it down as well, because previously we were sort of looking at BAME as a whole, but it's, if you break that down, there's some very different stories to be told within that. And for us, the key piece of data that stood out was that people from a Black heritage background were not doing so well in the online assessments. And so, that's just one piece of the puzzle. So you think, okay, well, what do we need to do next? Because, everyone has the same potential from any background. So what's the story here? And then we split that data down by socioeconomic background, essentially. And when you look at the data that way, there was zero difference between people from Black heritage background or anyone else from a lower socioeconomic background. It just turned out that there were more, certainly who applied to us anyway, more people from a Black heritage background that were in the lower socioeconomic background again, so I'm saying that a lot. And what can we do to sort of rebalance that so that we can't fix everything in society, but we can do our little part to help rebalance that within our function. So that is where we came up with we spoke to a lot of people from different backgrounds and did a lot of surveys and understood, I think, that people from a lower socioeconomic background, and therefore a larger proportion of people from Black heritage background, just don't get so much opportunity to get training and sort of be coached on some of these assessment centres. A lot of them, when we speak to them, we spoke to our students in surveys, it was the first time they've seen it really, whereas some of the other people may have had training on it at university or whatever else. And so we redesigned the structure of our team this year, as I said earlier, to be able to catch these applicants very early on, be able to provide these skill sessions, and then so they have a more equal chance of passing the online assessments, because actually past that they were doing equally as well, if not better in some instances, as other groups. So that was the sort of the birth of this new team structure, that we have to really address that, but also in our Black heritage program, which was essentially the trial for that, to see how much of a difference we could make. The percentage of people that went on our heritage program and did the skills sessions that passed, it was more than double. So it made a huge impact, and by just doing that one thing, and there's plenty of other things we're doing, we sort of addressed a very large problem within our pipeline.
Sure. So at the Coca-Cola company, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's the heart of our values. It's the most important part of our success, I would say. In terms of the framework, we have a global diversity, equity, and inclusion office, and they're responsible for really driving the strategy around DE&I ownership, as well as the results of this. So they do measure the results on and progress against what we do set out as targets. And this is a team which is more of an internal consultant, and they work very, very closely with cross-functional teams, with senior leaders, with the HR teams, with operating units. We have various inclusion networks in place for various groups, and they work very closely with the inclusion networks as well, these councils. And all this is to really foster and create an inclusive environment where each individual is celebrated, and whether it's in the form of culture and heritage, whether it's gender, whether it is ability and wellness, the kind of generations I did speak about, Gen Z before, generations and life experience, and even LGBTQ plus. So we have all these as part of, we celebrate uniqueness, and all these are part of our DE&I strategy when it comes at the Coca-Cola company.
At GSK, we have 4 global diversity councils, so that includes a council focused on ethnicity. There's also 13 different employee resource groups, so they're effectively kind of large societies, I suppose, of employees ran by employees of GSK. They run a number of different networking events, different development events, different talks, that kind of thing. And an example of one of those is Embrace, which is our employee resource group that's focused on employees in GSK from ethnic minority backgrounds. So across the world, I think there's over 10,000 members of those employee resource groups. Are hugely, hugely important in terms of the kind of day-to-day culture in terms of GSK, but also the kind of the direction, what it's actually like to work in the company each day, I suppose. So it's a huge focus on, well, GSK has the slogan, I guess, of "Be you, feel good, keep growing," which is kind of the direction that the company's going in terms of that culture. I think that "Be you" piece is really important. There's a huge emphasis on the fact that you can, be yourself at work. You can. Everyone has a different kind of set of experiences and backgrounds, and that's something that's very much valued. So I think it is, and it certainly is an environment where people can feel respected. They can bring themselves to work and feel supported working at GSK.
I'll keep it short and simple. I think the message to any aspiring student would be to be yourself, be proud of where you come from, and as I said, we celebrate uniqueness and what you bring with you in terms of your culture, heritage, where you come from, and those diverse views are what makes the difference for us in terms of it's part of our business strategy. So if we do not have those diverse viewpoints, we will not probably be able to achieve what we set out as a business. So be yourself and bring your whole self to work when you come into us.
Yeah, I think that was great. So I'd like to echo that. Also, kind of to add, you might have absolutely no idea what you want to do once you graduate. You might have no idea about what industries or what companies. I think that's perfectly normal. You can see on this call, but also in terms of a lot of other companies that have been involved in Elevate program. It's from loads of different industries, all of which are really wanting to get you guys to apply to come and join them, I suppose. So do your research, turn up and come to as many of those different events and different things that we've spoken about today, and really find out what's going to be a good match for you, because there's loads and loads of companies that would really want to get the skills and give them the potential that you all have. So do a bit of research, find out what you're genuinely interested in. And if you have no idea at the moment, don't worry, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean, a similar sort of story, I'd say, most importantly, I'd say engage with businesses now or prior to you going into the application process or when you apply for a job, because people are, certainly from what I've seen in the accountancy industry, people are moving mountains. It's pretty much, these sort of initiatives within our firm are pretty much the only ones that have a sort of unlimited resource when it comes to our requests and what we can do to help rebalance that inequality. And things like the skills sessions, where it shows if you do engage with one of these, you've effectively got more than double the chance of passing through these things. And I know all of the accountancy firms are doing it, because it might sound strange, but we have really regular meetings with all of our competitors, I guess, in the accountancy market. But on this in business, maybe we compete with each other, but on this subject, we all collaborate together and share those ideas. And that's, like I say, people are doing everything they can. And so now is the best time because there's so much effort going into providing information for people, which is really the key to getting success.